teacher here for 8th grade, and this is my 3rd year teaching. I'm currently in the master's program at Hunter, so I'm trying to do my thesis on critical literacy. And some of you took the survey already, right? So some of you took the survey, some of you were part of the focus group, and I interviewed only 2 people on critical literacy. So after I reviewed all the research, I found that most people didn't even know what critical literacy meant. So my first session is meant to just introduce critical literacy so you guys have an overview of what it means. Then later on down the line, if we continue with the PD, then I'll be able to teach you how to actually implement critical literacy in your classrooms. So to start
Which is things to be screwed, beaten, shit on, ashamed. This is a marketing holocaust. 24 hours a day, for the rest of our lives, the powers that be are hard at work, dumbing us to death. So, to defend ourselves and fight against assimilating this dullness into our thought processes, we must learn to read, to stimulate our own imagination, to cultivate our own consciousness, our own belief systems. We all need these skills to defend, to preserve our own minds.
What are your noticings, reactions, and or questions about the video? So did you find anything interesting? Did anything stand out to you?
I like the combination of the 2 words, how we had the kids like define one, then define the other, then put it together. But he didn't do it in order, he did it like backwards, because he used the bottom word first when he defined the second one. Does that make sense? Oh, I know. Sorry. I think that's true.
I think what you asked me was very great. Like social media, and I said they have that. More or less, they know which way to go. See how much more after that. Wonderful college, junior high school, so they know.
Yeah.
They understand
Yeah.
there's something up there.
Right.
Unfortunately, they understand that time is running out of their education.
Yeah. What do you find interesting? Did anyone have anything that stood out to them? Did anyone admire his use of ubiquitous assimilation?
I love the word he teaches those kids.
Yes.
The message that he's trying to give it to them, like, just you need to read.
I like his passion, and I like how he said the thing about the marketing. Because it's so true, like everything, I feel like we're all being brainwashed to look a certain way, to have a certain product, have, certain fashion sense, and it's true. It's true, we're all,
Well, that's what brings us back to like critical literacy, because the idea, and that's why I'm so passionate about critical literacy, the idea is that you're taking all of these ideas that they're putting on and forcing on students, because they're growing up and this is what they're seeing on TV, on advertisements, in movies, all of these things, they're taking and they're internalizing them and thinking like this is how things are supposed to be. Like this is the role I play. But critical literacy challenges that. It says, well, let's take what everyone is giving you, like the books you're reading and the movies you're watching, the music you're listening to, and now let's think about it. Think about the larger picture as opposed to just embracing it. Now let's challenge it. Let's see what's good about it, but let's see how we can change our roles in society and use that to try to challenge those roles that we're expected to play. He talks about popular culture, media, and critical literacy. So he has a website too. If you just type in Ernest Morel, you can find him. He has a ton of articles on critical literacy and critical English education. So what I want you guys to do now, since many people were confused about what critical literacy meant, just if someone can read this aloud, someone brave enough to read it aloud, and after you read it aloud, I want you all to stop and jot on the sheet I gave you. You're gonna write down the definition of critical literacy in your own words. What you understand from this definition, because it's full of jargon, as you can see. Like if we give this to one of our kids, they'll look at me like I'm crazy. So see what you can pull from this, and then write your own definition of what critical literacy is. Can someone read it aloud? I already see you guys reading it. We're moving ahead of everyone else.
The critical English education is explicit about the role of language and literacy in conveying meaning and in promoting or disrupting existing power relations. It also seeks to develop in young women and men skills to deconstruct dominant texts carefully. That is, canonical, whatever that word is, canonical literature, media texts, while also instructing them in skills that allow them to create their own critical texts that can be used in the struggle for social justice. Further, critical English education encourages practitioners to draw upon the everyday language and literacy practices of adolescents to make connection with academic literacies and to work toward empowered identity development and social transformation. Morel, 2005.
So this is his definition. There's a lot there, but as she read, like certain words pop up, like empowered identity, right? Development, social transformation, and then deconstructing dominant texts, right? When they say canonical,
Yeah.
it's the canon. So
Okay.
like classic books, like The Great Gatsby, 1984, all of these like novels, taking them apart, right? Reading them and looking at them through a different lens. So take about 3 minutes to try to like write down your own definition of what critical literacy is. If you're still confused, it's okay. Just write down what you understand from this paragraph.
Say, but like in 802, a lot of the females in 802 when we were doing Ain't I a Woman, like Carol Lee got into that article because she's quote unquote a woman's advocate. She's into this thing about women. But she made a lot of points out of that, and she fought for what she believed in.
Right. And the thing is that you saw how some kids said, oh, but there was one student that said, oh, but the reason men are more successful is because if you have a superior race, then of course the people that are inferior aren't going to be as successful. So it's
She
like,
went off.
I mean, and one of the things that this topic is very tricky with kids, even with adults. It's something that's very intimidating because sometimes you don't want to talk about race or about sexism. You know, it's something that you have to really question yourself when you talk about issues like this. But right, but the conversation needs to start somewhere, and people's perspectives need to be respected at the end of the day. So if one of the students said that, then I can't, like some of the girls just freaked out. Of course, inside, I completely disagree, but you have to listen to other points of view because the point is not to say, well, your view is wrong, you need to learn this way. The point is to say, well, your view is valid, but you need to understand other perspectives as well. So, how do we promote critical literacy in the classroom? We went over a couple. So, students should understand multiple perspectives. They should challenge and disrupt dominant ideologies and situations. So, they go into it blindly. Remember when we did the poverty unit? I asked, how do you know someone is poor? And some kids said, oh, when you can't buy the new Jordans.
Right. Some of them said by the clothes you wear, how they dress, how they
If you
smell.
have holes in your clothes,
If you have holes
that
in
means
your
you're poor.
clothes, yeah. Last year they removed this.
Right.
That topic.
I don't think it's so much that it's written, it's that some of our kids have no concept of what it is.
But I'm saying the way they came out,
Yeah, yeah.
the attitude of the persona when we discussed that topic, the way they came
And-
off last year was just ridiculous.
Yeah, and I understand it, but that's one of the things that I think I was saying earlier is, I think in a high school level where they have more of a concept of what, things are, they're not as sheltered at home because they're older, they have to do, you know, very few high school kids get in the yellow school bus to go to school. Very few,
Right.
you know, they have to find their way. If they go to high school around the corner is one thing, but if they go to high school, which I push a lot with my kids to go to high school outside of here, so they see the rest of the world, then they see things differently. I think in junior high school, how they're still in that cocoon of elementary school and they're trying to get out and now we're all, that's why we see some of the changes in our kids that they start to be, oh, I have to be big and bad, whatever. I think this would work also perfectly. Why did this personality change to fit that mold of what they expect you to be?
Right.
You know, where, who was it? Like the kid told you of the girl when she answered, or, you know, demeaning her. The same thing some of our kids do with some of our kids that will answer and participate in class. Oh, you're just kissing ass and going for
Right.
doing this and
Right.
that. And I think because they expect that.
Exactly.
Why do you expect that? Why? In that sense, yeah, I think our kids would be perfectly ready for it. We need to move in from there.
Right. Think about the music they hear. That's what we were talking about, the hip hop
Yeah.
music. You know, why is it that the hip hop music we hear is always referring to women in derogatory ways? You know, so, but see, that's why we need this, right? to teach them that this is not the right way to go. We're just like, it's like I feel like it's kind of like a trap. Like, you're growing up blindly, and you're seeing or you're hearing all these things. This is how you're supposed to be. This is how you're supposed to be, and you're giving into it. Right, but if you don't have anyone leading you, and you don't have anyone teaching you how to challenge these ideas, you're just gonna give into it.
No, I was just gonna say, like, a biggest problem, like, if you look at the people, like, say, in, like, the Baltimore situation, like, if they would've had someone leading them in that community, they would've banded together and, you know, maybe made a right activist move instead of the looting and, you know, starting a fire. And too many people's opinions are based on just what they see. They don't research it, they don't watch the news, and right away they jump on Facebook and say, you know, oh, this is a racial thing. They don't know the background information. They don't know.
Right.
That's my biggest issue with a lot of this stuff. People are just misinformed.
And that's what goes into literacy. Being able to read the world, right?
Read
What's
between
going
the
on?
lines. I think when I say read between the lines is really, I think it's a major thing because that is behind it. It's when I went to college 400 years ago before you guys were born. There were classes where we actually analyzed Bugs Bunny. Do you guys know the story behind Bugs Bunny? Do you know the story behind Little Red Riding Hood? Little Red Riding Hood story is when parents told their daughters to be careful when they became young ladies and caught their period. The wolf was a man who was trying to take her because she was a young lady. That's what that was about. All of those stories have something behind them, and that's what I sort of like I think of when you think of this is what's behind the main story. Yeah, the main story is great, but what's behind it? There are classes that are happening, I don't remember what school, they're analyzing different rap songs, but they're analyzing this year just one particular singer, I don't remember who it was. And someone says, oh, but why? I said, because what's behind the words? If you know NWA, old time, and a lot of Snoop Dogg and a lot of those, why did it start? Why did rap music start? Why did all of that start? Yeah, in the 60s, they're not even go there, let's go to the 60s and the 50s. What the Animals and those, why did they make some of their songs? The Mamas and the Papas, there was something behind it. They just changed his words and lyrics and music because of the time, but it's still the same thing. So, you were saying that you guys are doing women's suffrage. Today I was telling my class about Ibsen, one of his stories, and I couldn't for the life of me remember the name. But again, it was the wife borrowed money because the husband was sick and dying, and in the end, she got, she left because she couldn't take it. So I was like, this is the role women play. To a point, it's changed somewhat, but it's still there.
Right.
So I think this would basically help them look deeper than just, she was mistreated, or, oh my God, that wouldn't happen. It's happening now.
Right.
It's just changed.
Right.
And I think that's where this more is of that social justice of not just taking what's there, is look deep.
Right.
Why?
Just
that
like
question
when you
why.
mentioned about the music, it changes, but every time there's a purpose. what's the purpose? Like,
What's the
they
message
have
of
to look
it?
deeper. We have like less than 10 minutes. I really wanted you guys to read this because that was the end. So what we'll do is a jigsaw. Do you guys know what a jigsaw is? All right, so we're gonna take apart the article. So, for instance, well,
No, no,
this is a lot, but all right. Who wants to take the abstract and the first page? Okay, you read fast. This one. So the article is lessons in social action, equipping and inspiring students to improve their world. So, Ms. Lopez, you can take the first page up to critical literacy curriculum. I need someone to take critical literacy curriculum. Maybe Ms. Diaz, you could take that one since you were talking about the curriculum. That's one of the shortest ones. Okay, primary sources.
I could have role playing, but no.
Alright, so you can take primary resources and you can take primary resources.
Is that what the world is showing?
I know, right?
I just used my band.
And then someone takes role play. Ms. Thorne? Okay, Ms. Megan, and then Ms. Sanchez, you want to take, and Ms. Fajardo, civic debate?
I said I was.
No, take civic debate. It's on the third page. So you take civic debate too.
Okay.
Primary sources.
Yes. Now, before, I know you guys started reading already, but what you're going to do is just select one quote that you find interesting in that section, okay?
Wait, Diaz, you're doing primary source?
With you and Ms.
Oh, we're
Martin.
both in together.
Yeah. So I want you just to underline one quote that you feel is important and that you would like to share with me. To do it because I don't want to take your time. But save the last word for me. If we were actually having the activity, Ms. Diaz would read her quote, and then everyone else would comment or pass, and then she would be the last one to respond. She would not be able to say anything about it until the end. Yeah, and so it's something that I use with my kids maybe once or twice, especially in after school, and they really enjoyed it because you want to say something, but then you hear other people's perspectives first. So, but
I picked that because, I think it's important to give real solutions and real consequences. Like, for instance, if you talk about segregation, you would talk about Rosa Parks and, real life events, not just saying you weren't allowed to drink from the same water fountain. Giving that, can you really, set like the precedent for artifacts and stuff like that.
right, and then maybe taking that and then looking at how it affects them now. Because back then they see, oh, these were the consequences. They were, mistreated, this and this happened, but then what happened now? Like, it's a trickle effect. We're being affected by it still today. Who was in the next section? Civic debate? Oh no, actually role play.
We both were, but I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but it was just giving examples of what teachers did in the classrooms, or actually this one took place in a college classroom. They were sitting in their room and someone came in and said, oh, you have to leave, and go to another room. Then they went to another in the whole class, and then someone else came in and said, oh, I need this, you have to leave. She was trying to show them that that's how the Native Americans felt when they kept being pushed from like one place to another to another. So,
And then you see, yeah, and you see in that situation, they're being placed in, and they're seeing it from their perspective,
Right.
from Native Americans,
right,
instead of
like
just
how
hearing it.
annoying it is that they keep having to be moved and how rude it is. And
Right, and this is just a classroom. So imagine real life. You need to pick
Right.
up and move all of your belongings, leave your home. So I mean, I really like that example. And it makes teaching fun, right?
yeah.
So I mean, I think that critical literacy makes teaching more engaging, not just for the teacher but for the students. Civic debate. I think that's the last one.
Sure, why not? I have they see how students learn to develop their own point of view, distinguishing fact from opinion, identify bias, become skilled in the art of persuasion, and foster their public speaking skills. I'm just giving my opinion on this, right? Yeah, I mean, I look at it now, and you give the kids an opportunity to stand up for what they believe in. Kind of gives them purpose, allows them to have their own voice in the classroom, and I think that's hard for a lot of kids to kind of understand. It's usually one-sided, but now it broadens their, I guess we could say horizons and their way of thinking.
think about is what do you think will be the challenges of incorporating critical literacy in your instruction? And what questions do you still have about critical literacy? And then at the end, there's a complete, there's a rubric where you assess your own teaching. So